Hello, watching Vnews Bulletin. Bangor from right now, the headlines as usual.
Party Chief Chairs meeting on corruption prevention and control. President attends 29th APEC Economic Leaders Meeting. And later on, Vnews receives big order from U.S. service firm Autonomy.
Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng on November 18th chaired a meeting of the Central Steering Committee for Corruption and Negative Phenomena Prevention and Control.
According to the steering committee, since its 21st meeting in January 2022, the work of detecting and dealing with corruption and negativity has become increasingly drastic and effective. Relevant agencies nationwide have investigated nearly 2,500 cases with more than 4,600 defendants, prosecuted more than 2,150 cases with over 4,500 defendants. Nearly $16 billion, or some $650 million, has been recovered. The party, preventing and combating deterioration in political ideology, morality, and lifestyle among cadres and party members. In order to further strengthen the people's confidence in the coming time, the fight against corruption and negativity will continue to be promoted, General Secretary Chao stressed.
President Nguyễn Phúc called on APEC members to iron out differences, increase dialogue, and coordinate actions for the sake of common interests while attending the 29th APEC Economic Leaders Meeting and related activities in Thailand on November 18th.
This is the first in-person meeting among leaders and heads of delegations of the 21 APEC member economies after a 3-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Themed Open, Connect, Balance, the event discussed 3 priority orientations of APEC, namely open to all opportunities, connect in all dimensions, and balance in all aspects. In his remarks, President Phúc emphasized that an Asia-Pacific of peace, stability, cooperation, prosperity, and sustainable development is a goal and a common responsibility that requires joint efforts by all APEC member economies. The Vietnamese leader underlined some balance factors in cooperation, including putting people at the center to create balance in each economy, among sectors and among social elements, and balancing interests and responsibilities among economies and regions. The goal is common, but measures must be adapted to the characteristics and development level of each party, Phúc noted.
On the same day, President Nguyễn Phúc and other APEC leaders joined a dialogue session with members of the APEC Business Advisory Council, or ABAC for short. ABAC members expressed concern that major geopolitical, economic, and environmental challenges are making negative impacts on the realization of APEC Vision 2014. ABAC made recommendations to control inflation and accelerate a sustainable economic recovery, among others. Talking to the Council, President Phúc said that in the context of many new bilateral mechanisms being formed, the World Trade Organization is still considered a foundational multilateral cooperation mechanism. He called on APEC economies to promote important discussions and negotiations in the WTO on fisheries subsidies, agriculture, and WTO reform. The President also asked ABAC to continue promoting its active role in APEC, a peaceful, sustainable, and prosperous Asia-Pacific region for all people.
On the same day, on the sidelines of the 29th APEC Economic Leaders Meeting in Thailand, President Nguyễn Phúc met with leaders of some countries.
At a meeting with General Secretary of the Communist Party of China and President of China, Xi Jinping, President Phúc affirms that Vietnam always attached importance to the enhancement and development of the friendship and cooperation with China. This is a top priority of Vietnam's foreign policy, Phúc said, expressing the wish to develop relations between the two parties and the two countries in a healthy, stable, and long-term manner. For his part, General Secretary and President Xi stated that China highly cherishes the relations with Vietnam. The Chinese side is ready to join hands with Vietnam to strengthen friendship and cooperation, thus increasing developing the relations between the two countries. At a meeting between President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc and U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, the two sides expressed their delight at the strong growth of the Vietnam-U.S. comprehensive partnership. They affirmed the bilateral ties have a solid foundation and comprehensive and substantive cooperation across all fields, especially economy and trade. Phúc stated Vietnam always takes the U.S. a top important partner and hopes to make their relations more substantive, stable, and in-depth based on basic principles. For her part, Harris said the U.S. values and wishes to step up further the relations with Vietnam for mutual benefits and positive contributions to peace, stability, cooperation, and development in the region and the world.
Vietnamese carmaker VinFast announced on November 18th that it has received an order from American electric vehicle subscription firm Autonomy for more than 2,500 VF8 and VF9 vehicles.
This is VinFast's largest corporate order to date and one of Autonomy's largest electric vehicle orders, affirming the acceptance by the international market of the Vietnamese automaker. In August 2022, Autonomy ordered 23,000 electric vehicles across 17 different global automakers, including VinFast, to operate its subscription services. At that time, Autonomy planned to order 400 VF8 and VF9 vehicles and now has officially increased the order to more than 2,500 units. Customers can learn about VinFast vehicles at any of VinFast's 6 stores in California. Those interested in subscribing a VinFast to Autonomy can sign up via Autonomy's mobile app and receive the car directly from Autonomy's AutoNation pickup locations. VinFast has already started delivering the VF8 to Vietnamese customers, and the VF8 and VF9 are currently open for global reservations.
A ceremony was held at the Vietnam National Museum History on November 18th to receive 10 artifacts, the earliest dating back to the Đông Sơn culture, returned by the U.S.
The artifacts include a stone axe of the post-Neolithic era, BC 4500 to 3500, 3 bronze axes and 1 ceramic saucepan of Đông Sơn culture, 3 stone crocodile sculptures of AD 1st to 2nd century, and 2 bronze pies from the 17th to 18th century. In 2014, the FBI seized over 7,000 objects from an amateur archaeologist in Indiana, including the artifacts of Vietnam. In 2019, the U.S. Investigation Bureau called on foreign governments to contact them and to send experts to examine the artifacts.
These items were illegally obtained and held by an American citizen in the United States. The United States law enforcement, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI, it's important not only for the Vietnamese people to have what is rightfully theirs returned to them, but also for historians, for researchers, so that we can learn more about the important history of Vietnam.
I think in the future, there will be more artifacts returning to Vietnam.
According to the U.S. Embassy, to date, the U.S. government has provided more than $1.25 million in funding for the preservation of Vietnamese cultural artifacts, spanning 16 projects across the country.
All 45 communes in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu province have been recognized as meeting new rural area standards, of which 19 have achieved new advanced rural area standards, helping the province complete the new rural area program.
In Xuyên Mộc Commune, in Xuyên Mộc District, one of 19 communes that have met the province's new advanced rural area standards, the local government has adopted many measures to help people develop their households' economies. Incomes have improved as a result, while the commune's appearance has changed a great deal. Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu has invested thousands of billions of Vietnam dong over the years to develop new rural infrastructure and plans to spend nearly 3,000 billion Vietnam dong on such efforts in the 2022-2025 period. Local people have worked together with authorities by donating millions of square meters of land and hundreds of thousands of working days. Consensus from the provincial to the grassroots levels and between the government and the people of Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu count among the decisive factors in the success posted to date.
The Vietnam XC Open Phuttalang 2022, the first national cross-country paragliding competition, is taking place in Lai Châu province.
Nearly 100 pilots are taking part in the tournament at Tham Duong District's 3,049-meter Phuttalang Mount, 20 kilometers from Lai Châu City. International pilots from 15 countries and territories also joined the event, which will run until November 20th. The destination has become a popular area for paragliding for years. It has been the only place to host international large-scale competitions in Vietnam that are recognized by the World Air Sports Federation. From these tournaments, 6 Vietnamese paragliders won their slots to compete at the Paragliding World Cup in Gocheng, the Republic of Korea, last month.
The Chang An Heritage Connection Festival opened in the northern province of Ninh Bình on November 17th.
The opening drew the participation of 14 cities and provinces nationwide, an art troupe from Laos Ordomse province, and more than 70 contestants from Miss Tourism World 2022. The festival aims to build stellar cultural brands, promote cultural heritage, and link them with others in neighboring countries. Ninh Bình province is expected to continue to prioritize preserving cultural heritage and outline measures to seek support from businesses and local people to promote cultural values and develop tourism into spearhead economic sector. The 3-day festival features a host of activities, including a cultural heritage exhibition, a carnival, and a music festival. Vietnam is home to 70,000 heritage, 416 of which are on the list of National Intangible Cultural Heritage, while 14 have been honored by UNESCO. Ninh Bình has 81 national relic sites and 3 national special relic sites. It's the only locality in Vietnam that is home to mix both cultural and natural sites.
Vietnam is among the top 5 countries in Asia-Pacific with the highest number of accommodation providers receiving the Travel Sustainable Badge from Booking.com for their efforts to operate more sustainably.
Leading digital travel platform Booking.com launched the Travel Sustainable Badge program in 2021 to provide travelers with credible information to make a sustainable choice on their trips. With the release of the platform's Sustainable Travel Report 2022, which contains insights gathered from more than 30,000 travelers across 32 countries and territories, sustainable travel is a global trend. Some 96% of Vietnamese travelers confirmed that sustainable tourism is important to them. Therefore, Vietnamese accommodation providers have spent no effort to improve practices and meet standards for sustainable lodging facilities.
And that's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching and see you next time.